You know, we're all surrounded by this invisible force that connects our entire digital world. It's how we stream our shows, get our work done, maybe it even controls the lights in our homes. But what if that same Wi-Fi network is also leaving your digital front door completely wide open for intruders? Well, today, we're going to unpack the hidden risks that could be affecting you right now.
It's a pretty direct question, isn't it? And honestly, it's one we should all be asking ourselves. All that convenience of being wireless, well, it comes with a potential price tag for your privacy. So let's find out exactly what might be leaking through your digital walls.
Okay, so where does the risk even begin? It all starts with the very nature of Wi-Fi itself. See, those radio signals coming from your router, they don't just magically stop at your front door. Nope, they travel right through the walls, they spill out into the street, they reach into your neighbor's apartment. And that creates the first, most basic vulnerability. Literally anyone who is physically nearby can potentially listen in.
I mean, it really is as simple as that. That same signal that lets you check your email from your driveway, that can also be picked up by someone sitting in a car just down the street. And that right there is the gateway for a potential attacker. They don't need to kick down your door if they can just listen in from a distance.
So, now that we know your network is basically broadcasting to the neighborhood, let's look at the common weak spots. Think of these as the digital cracks that attackers are actively looking for to turn your private network into an open book.
This slide really shows the huge difference in your first line of defense. Encryption. Using those old standards like WEP or the original WPA, that's like trying to protect your biggest secrets with one of those flimsy diary locks. It can be broken in seconds. But the modern standards like WPA2, and especially the newer WPA3, are the real deal. They're the digital equivalent of a bank vault.
But you know, beyond the type of lock, a lot of doors are just left wide open by simple mistakes. Using the default password, you know the one, admin or password, that's practically rolling out the welcome mat. Leaving the default network name tells an attacker the exact make and model of your router, so they can just look up known ways to break in. Mixing your personal devices with guest traffic? Well, that means a compromised guest's phone has a direct path to your sensitive data. And finally, skipping those firmware updates, that's like knowing you have a broken lock on your door and just deciding not to fix it. So with all these vulnerabilities in place, it's time to meet the intruders who take advantage of them. And these aren't just abstract ideas. These are specific, real-world attack methods used every single day to compromise wireless networks.
The first, and probably the most common, is eavesdropping. You'll also hear it called sniffing. If your data isn't properly encrypted, an attacker can basically listen to the airwaves and just capture everything you're sending and receiving. We're talking emails, passwords, your browsing history, you name it.
And this analogy just hits the nail on the head. You think you're having a private conversation inside your home, but someone has their ear pressed right to the wall, hearing every single word. That's exactly what sniffing is for your unencrypted data. Okay, next up is something way more deceptive, the evil twin. This is where an attacker sets up their own rogue Wi-Fi network that looks exactly like one you trust, like your home network or the free Wi-Fi at the airport. And this example just perfectly illustrates the danger. Imagine you see coffee shop _ free Wi-Fi. You connect, you start browsing. But what you've actually done is connect to the attacker's laptop, which is now sitting right between you and the internet, just waiting to capture your login credentials the second you type them. And this leads us directly to the man-in-the-middle attack. An evil twin is just one way to pull this off. Here, the attacker isn't just listening anymore. They are actively intercepting, reading, and here's the scary part. They can even alter your traffic. They can send you to a fake banking website or even change a file you're downloading. The point is, you're not just being spied on anymore. Your digital reality is actually being manipulated. So let's connect all these ideas. As you can see right here, there's a direct line from the weakness to the threat. That weak encryption we talked about, well, that's what allows for eavesdropping. That default network name you never bothered to change, that's the open door for an evil twin attack. And when your guest and private devices are all jumbled together, that's how a small intrusion can turn into a full-blown network breach. All right, I know, that was a lot of bad news. But here's the good news. Defending yourself is 100% possible. You don't need to be some kind of security guru. You just need a clear, simple plan to build your own digital fortress. So here it is, your 4-step defense plan. First, encrypt and protect. Use WPA3 if you can, or at least WPA2, and pair it with a password that is long, complex, and totally unique. Second, be discreet. Change that admin login right away and think about hiding your network name.
Third, build some walls. Your router's firewall should always be on, and a VPN is an absolute must for masking your traffic, especially on public Wi-Fi. And fourth, stay updated. Just set a reminder to check for firmware updates every couple of months to patch any new vulnerabilities that pop up.
So, the key takeaway here isn't about being scared. It's about empowerment. Just like you lock your front door when you leave the house, these digital security steps should just become second nature. It's all about being proactive, not reactive.
And this quote really just sums it all up. Having the latest WPA3 encryption doesn't do you any good if your password is password123. A firewall is pretty useless if you turn it off. The strongest tools in the world still require the simplest action from you. You have to actually remember to use them.
So, we'll end on this question. Knowing all this is the first step, but it's taking action that actually creates security. So I want you to think about your own network right now. Is it your password? Your router's admin login? Maybe it's that firmware update you've been putting off? Pick one thing, just one, from this whole explainer and make that change today. What's it going to be?